Students, in different discussions, we have talked about chi-square tests for difference in probabilities or proportions. We have learned that how to take up various problems under this topic manually. We have learned the procedure to test the hypothesis of regarding the equality of proportions, and further you have learned that how to enter the data into SPSS software to perform the chi-square test to test hypothesis that whether the proportions, different kind of proportions, they are equal or they are not equal. Then you have further learned that how to follow the chi-square procedure to perform this type of hypothesis onto SPSS. Once you have got the output, after following the procedure, we would be discussing that how to interpret the results we have obtained using the SPSS software. So students, I would be reading the problem for you that we need to discuss, for which we have entered the data into SPSS and we have followed the procedure to apply the chi-square test onto this problem. So I would be reading this problem for you. The problem was, our research is conducted to observe the success of students, where success of the students is the variable of interest, for a same course taught by the three instructors. Researcher has claimed that the proportion of success is same for all the three groups. For the data given, test the researcher's claim at 5% level of significance, where you can observe that the different kind of counts for group 1, group 2 and group 3 are being given to us. So students, you have already learned that how to enter the data for this problem into SPSS and how to follow the chi-square procedure. So now we would be talking about the results we have obtained in SPSS and how to use those results to test the hypothesis. So step number 1 to test the hypothesis is the formulation of null and alternative statements. So students, here H0 represents the null hypothesis and it is stated as proportion of success is same for the three groups. Whereas the alternative statement to the H0 is that they are not same. The proportion of success are different for the three groups. Then the next step is to inform about alpha, that is the level of significance. So students, in this problem, we are given with alpha and it is equal to 0.05. The third step is the test we are going to perform this kind of hypothesis. And we for this kind of problem, we would be talking about a chi-square test. So students, chi-square की p value हमने obtain की है SPSS से. So वो p value हमें यहाँ report करनी है और उस calculated p value को हमने compare करना है with the observed p value, which is also known as alpha. So calculation जो students हमने output SPSS की से observe की है, that is equal to 0.387. Now this calculated p value is to be compared with alpha. So alpha is our observed p value. The next step is to define the rejection region, which is also known as the critical region. So critical region stated that if p value will be less than alpha, then we have to reject our null hypothesis. That means if our p value would be less than alpha, it will fall into the rejection region. So students, the last step is to make the conclusions on the basis of the observed p value and the calculated p value. So students, as the calculated p value that we have obtained from SPSS comes out to be 0.387. Now this value is very much greater than our alpha, that is 0.05. So this value is alpha, that is equal to 0.05. So we'll have to accept our null hypothesis and conclude that proportion of success for all the three groups is same.